Hello people. So today we are going to have a parenting workshop by Sami Sahani. Sami Sahani is a writer and consultant specializing in creating digital content to help clients build their personal brand online through her company, Social Dragonfly. She strongly believes in the power of community building and heads a Facebook and WhatsApp group for women titled Women Folk of Hyderabad. The group was built as a platform to help women who are home business and small business owners to network and grow their businesses that now has a strength of 7,500 members and highlights their work each week. She also conducts workshops for children to spread awareness about safe and unsafe touch through the NGO Safety. She recently self-published her book titled Iridescence. It is a book of poems that is themed on her personal growth, health, and spiritual journey. She also curates meaningful events, talks, and sessions on personal growth, parenting, sustainability, health, and wellness. On free days, you will find her doodling or her head buried in a book. Also a parenting blogger, she has been the city editor for Mountpresso and the community head for Kid Engage. Both are digital parenting platforms. She was a nursery teacher for a short stint, and as a crafter, she has been conducting crafting classes for children. Thank you, Sami Sahani, for coming here, and hope you have a lovely session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Devika. Thank you so much. It is my pleasure actually just to be here today. It's a pleasure to be here, Devika. Is the voice audible now?
Yes, it is.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So I see a few people are joining in.
Yeah, people will join now. Yeah, so you can start. Yeah.
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Sami. So before even I begin, my first question to everybody would be, what was the first thought that came to your mind when the lockdown was announced? You can type in your answers here in the chat.
Yeah, so viewers, please key in your comments. What was the first thought that came across your mind?
For me, it was, how will I keep my kids busy? I'm a mother to two kids. One is a teenager, 14 years, and my daughter is 7. So it was like a prolonged weekend with no school and no classes, and we can't even go to a mall or any other place. So the first question was, what will I do with the kids?
So for like I have had a lot of people around in my circle who have said that how should we keep our kids busy? That is like because most of the time they are in school. So now what should they do? Yeah.
I know that was the first mind too, because with the children of their age, most of the day is gone in school and other activities. So once they come back from school, their other activities are already being fixed for them. So extracurricular activities and classes, they already do all of that. And their whole routine is I think it's such a socially set up that is with meeting friends and meeting teachers. And if they're in school, they'll come back, they'll go for their extracurricular activities nearby in an activity center here. So they have this whole routine going on a daily basis. And weekends are always busy with socializing, with birthday parties and friends and all. So my first thought was, how will I keep the kids busy now? And Sone Pe Suhaga, there was no maid. There was nobody to cook for you. So you had to do the housework also. And you had to keep the kids busy also. So that was the biggest dilemma I had as a parent that time. And my first reaction was, since I have been a parenting blogger and I also run a parents group, a mothers group on WhatsApp and Facebook, and a lot of people who are in the educational or the edutainment business or activity centers, they are connected in the group. So once we all connected in the group, the first reaction was we started sending a lot of online resources that children can do crafting and links to books that they can read online. Audible, for example, there was a link going on in our forwards that Audible was giving free books that children could read. So that was one thing. And then there were a lot of other online programs that started immediately. And being a crafter myself, I'm connected to a lot of pages and websites also where I could find a lot of links where I could find activities for the child to do at home. So all I had to do was go to the link and maybe, download a few worksheets for them, maybe an idea, show them an idea, because they're at an age, my kids, all I have to do is just give them and nudge them a little bit towards that idea. So my daughter loves crafting and art. So all I had to do was download a lot of videos for her, a lot of crafting links, and a lot of paper, a lot of printer ink, and a lot of art supplies. Thankfully, we had at home, so that helped a lot. And me being a writer and an avid reader, that helps a lot. Both the children have picked up that hobby of reading. My son also likes to write, so they have that hobby in common with me. They like to read and write. The first week, I would say, was I was very focused that I have to make sure that they do everything. The school started with online classes. The activity center that she goes to over here started with their online classes. So she was going for piano and classes like that, Western vocal singing and all that. All that shifted to an online platform on Skype and WhatsApp. So the teacher started conducting workshops over there. So we thought that would be sufficient to keep them occupied. But not realizing, after a week, I realized children are like a little glass full of water. I read it somewhere in one of the parenting sites that I visit very often. So we were just overfilling a cup that was already full. So they had schoolwork, they had these extracurricular activities, then I was making sure that they don't get bored at home. So there was too much happening for them, and the emotional stress of understanding what is a lockdown now. We can't go out anymore. We can't meet our friends. No school, no activities. So I think after 1 week, my daughter started rebelling that I don't want to do too much activities because the school was also sending work. And after 1 week, we realized that, there could be instances where I could just let them be and decide for themselves what is it that they want to do. Obviously, the school work, since they had working days going on, the school wanted to cover up that portion. So that I could not tell them not to miss. So that they had to do, both of them. And my son has just passed on to class 10. So that was a very crucial year for him. So we had to make sure that he studies at least. So the younger one, we made sure that she's doing all the activities which she likes to do. And I'm not forcing her to do things that I think that she should be doing just to be very constructive and very productive. By the end, the lesson that I realized was what is productivity at this time when we are all so emotionally stressed out and such extraordinary circumstance right now happening. And I also started a series where I started talking to a lot of experts in their field about how to deal with the situation, how to be mentally and emotionally ready for such kind of a situation. That's when I realized that there has to be a complete balance between activities that they're doing, a little bit of letting them be and then do their own thing. So it's okay if they watch a little bit of TV extra, if they binge watch their favorite program, if they just want to play because, or if they just want to call a friend and talk to them, because they anyways cannot meet them in school right now.
So as you used to do crafting for when you were a nursery teacher and crafting, when you used to teach children crafting as well. So do you have anything to show us or our viewers that what kind of crafting can be done, or what kind of crafting activities can people engage in? Because it is not very easy for parents to learn crafting. So we have learned in school, but I don't know whether we remember it today.
Yeah, absolutely agree on that point. No, I think if your child is artistically inclined, then first of all, I think once we realize what the child is really interested in. Are they interested in drawing and sketching, or maybe crafting with paper or whatever they want to create? Some children are interested in robotics and creating things with that. I try to give children a lot of things that they usually like to play with. So instead of, like I said, even with my children, I try to enforce a lot of activities that I found online, coloring activities and something to help them with their English or their math or whatever. I realized I forgot to ask them what is it that they want to do by the end of it. So once I realized that, for example, my daughter wanted to do more of drawing and freehand coloring and crafting, a little bit crafting that she could do on her own, because at 7 years, they're pretty independent now. First of all, you have to see if your child, what your child is interested in and what is the age group. If they are 4 years and younger, they would be totally different activities, and they would need a lot of supervision, and they would need you around to set up materials for them. And there'll be activities online which will be age appropriate. And there are a lot of centers right now who are providing online classes as well, like for painting or for drawing. In my group, I have a lot of people who are service providers and activity center heads who keep sending me information about the classes. In case somebody is interested, they can always message me privately and ask all the details. If you want, I could share a couple of places which are running a lot of good classes for children as well.
Okay.
And at pretty nominal price points. And right now, I think everybody is very flexible with timings and the fees.
Okay, so another question I wanted to ask you, Sammy, is that doodling, it is a very new form of art which has become trendy nowadays. So do you have anything to show to us, like anything you have doodled recently?
Yeah, this year I decided, instead of journaling and writing like a diary or a journal, I would start doodling, and I created a journal where I'm just doodling stuff that I feel like. So that's helping me stay focused and very centered, and also a little bit of creatively busy. So I could show you a couple of things that I've done in my journal, and I like to keep putting that up in my Instagram stories and all, just to keep a record for myself as well.
Sure, definitely. We'll love to see it.
Yeah. I'm a big quote thing, if you can see it behind me also. I like quotes, I like to do lettering and all those things.
So do you also plan to take up calligraphy also? Have you also practiced calligraphy?
Very amateur. I like to write. I think we are a generation where we have done a lot of cursive writing in school.
Yeah.
We have books with cursive writing, and this generation has no idea about what cursive writing is. Very few schools are actually implementing cursive writing this day and age. So like my children were pretty okay with writing just block letters and, you know, just doing basic handwriting. So for them, cursive writing was something very unique. While we have filled books and books of holiday homework of doing only cursive writing, that calligraphy comes very easy because we have done that cursive writing.
Correct.
I found calligraphy, which I do very amateurish at home. I have a lot of books that I have ordered from Amazon easily. Even you get a lot of worksheets from online Amazon. Later, I think once things open up, even online, you'll get a lot of free printables of calligraphy letters that you can sit home and practice. There are a lot of pens that are easily available in the market, which are calligraphy pens. Also like markers. So that I have ordered a kit from Amazon.
Okay, this is nice.
So, like these calligraphy pens, they're easy to practice and write with them.
Very nice.
So I did a lot of, I started journaling in my journal with these pens, if you can see, if it's visible.
Yeah, okay. Nice. So do you also maintain a blog or something where we can see your work, artwork?
Yeah, actually I usually post everything on my Facebook page.
Okay.
Social Dragonfly, and I also I haven't yet put up everything on the blog as such, but I do have a blog where I do put in a lot of my parenting blogs that I've written in the past, and a lot of interviews that I'm doing with experts now. So they all keep going up on my website, on my blog, socialdragonfly.in.
So sorry to interrupt, but what tips do you have, like parents, what they should do? How should they engage the children? Nowadays, children, like even if they are like above 12 years, it is very, people are finding it hard to engage them, keep them engaged or keep them busy. We never had problems because we had a lot of holiday homework or a lot of work to do. So
yeah.
So, but nowadays,
otherwise, if it's summer holidays, just summer holidays, normal summer holidays, I feel it is still easy. But this situation right now where we cannot go out, the friends cannot come over, That is where the whole dilemma and all the confusion comes, where the children cannot step out of the house. Uh, See, first of all, I think if you have not already, do look at all the options that are available with online classes. Start with that. A lot of online classes for art and craft and even musical instruments. My daughter is even learning piano and Western vocal singing properly through the online thing. So that would be one thing which at least they're constructively utilizing the time over there. And I gently nudge them towards activities that they would like. So like my children, I prefer them to read books. So I nudge them towards certain books that I already have at home. So my son is 14 and 15 and he would get into that. He likes to read fiction a lot, psycho thrillers a lot. So all the books that I already have, so he's old enough to read a lot of them. So it's good to already have a collection of the things that your child already likes and maybe reintroduce those things to them, because during school hours they don't get time to play and all those things and read a lot, because of anyways the school burden is there. So that could be one thing that they could learn the activities that they always wanted to learn: art, craft, musical instrument. This is the perfect time to go ahead and start joining these activities and classes. And right now I think it is the perfect time for children to do this. If your child likes listening to stories, if they don't like to read book that much, maybe you could start reading a book for them if they're young enough. There are a lot of storytellers and people that I am connected with who are, doing a lot of live sessions online, reading good stories for the children to look at and constructively utilize the time that they are spending online. Because believe it or not, or agree with that point or not, a lot of children would be online right now, because that is the only option left with the times being like this. If
Yeah,
you are
actually, this
lucky
was
enough,
my next question. This was my next
yeah,
question for you. Like, how do you reduce the screen time, or how do you, like, many people have asked that monitoring social media behavior or online
yeah,
behavior is very, very important nowadays. So, what are
yeah,
your tips to do that?
absolutely. So I think more than monitoring, obviously monitoring should be there to a certain extent. There has to be an open conversation happening between the parent and the child. So this is what we tell the children in the safety workshops that I do with children. So we do a lot of safe and unsafe touch workshops for children, starting from ages 2 years till teenagers. So I have conducted a lot of sessions through this age group in various schools and centers here in the city. And we also do a lot of sessions with the parents, where the parents also sit and we have a discussion after the class is done with the children. So most of their questions have been, how can we monitor? So I think even before the monitoring start, make sure you have open communication channels with your children. So once you have that kind of a rapport with your child where they feel comfortable to come and tell you anything, so be it their online usage or uh, safe and unsafe touches that we were talking about in the workshops, all of this culminates to that one point where your relationship should be strong enough with the children. And most of the time, since if they're working parents, they would not have any time to spend with their child also, because they will be in school most of the time and the parents would be working at the office. Or if it's a housewife, she would be probably working in the house. A homemaker is busy with a lot of other things, dealing with the house and the children as well. So this would be the perfect time to build that relationship with your child and maybe spend those special moments. See, the activities are something more than other than what you would use than having a proper relationship with your children. So once that connect is built, I think this is the perfect time to start building that connection with the children. Once that is done, all the other things will fall into place. Then you would know that the child wants to spend more time watching maybe a movie right now. Maybe he wants to play Uno right now, maybe a game of Ludo or Carrom board. If you're lucky enough to have a garden in your house, so maybe some outdoor activity over there. If you're stuck in a building where the only option is to look outside the window or the balcony, then maybe you can have some indoor games. You can have a quiz night with your children. I love playing board games with my children, and once they sit together, the siblings will start playing together as well. there are a lot of online games which families can play together. So a lot of my children and their cousins have started playing Ludo online. So that again, it gives you a feeling that everybody is around you and they're all playing together. So that could be another option.
So one more thing, if we can just see your skills in doodling, if you can just show us something live, you can show your live doodling skills. Yeah.
Okay, you want me to doodle something right now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I'm not that great, but yeah, I would love to. But
Yeah.
I'll just get my book and pen, and then I'll start something.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
This is
So now we
something
have
that
Sammy Sahani doodling for us. So she will show her doodling skills.
This is something that I did just today morning.
Oh wow.
Yesterday morning. So this is Punjabi language. This is the olden days Punjabi, which has been used in, it's called the Mukhi, which is used in the Guru Granth Sahib, which is the books, the holy books for the Sikhs in the Sikh religion. So this is the letters that are used, the Gurmukhi language, which is used in our holy book over there.
Yeah.
So it was just going back to my roots of, since I'm from Punjab.
So how long have you been staying in Hyderabad?
It's been 17 years now, Deepika. I got married and shifted here after that. It's been 17 years. So I would call myself more of a Hyderabadi now.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah, I like the khatti dal and biryani, and I'm also very fluent in Hyderabadi now.
Wow,
Not very
that's
fluent in
okay.
Telugu, but yeah.
Okay. And what about your children? They know Punjabi?
A little bit, yeah. They're also learning Telugu through school. My daughter has been learning Telugu for the last 2 years in school.
Okay. Have you learned?
Little bit, yes. I think with my staff, I have to. There is no way out.
Yeah.
Unless I'll be communicating with them in sign language. But because of them, I know all the basic terminology of housework.
Yeah.
Because all those small words like buttle and kneel, all those things. So I can make sure that if we're working together, then
Yeah, nice.
at least I'm making my message come across.
Nice.
So here's another one.
Wow, this is nice. This looks nice. Yeah.
So since I am a writer, just like Devika, I have to write, and a lot of things I started writing in my journal as well.
Wow.
I also write a lot of poetry.
Yeah.
So that all goes in my journal now.
Nice. So we'll wait till work is in progress.
Yes.
Yeah. You do it freely. Yeah. You can show us the final product.
Definitely. Absolute pleasure to do something live with everybody. Even though I know a lot of illustrators and people who do great work.
Yeah.
So this is just an amateurish attempt.
Wow, this is wonderful, Sammy. Wonderful. This you have done in. She has done it in less than 5 minutes. So very good. We are very happy to see this. I'm sure the viewers will also be very happy to see this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So
I think now I can tell my children that I am also an artist, where I can just doodle in front of a lot of people. Like
yeah, definitely. So also tell us about some other creative ideas that you want to show people today.
For children?
Yes.
Okay. See, this is what I learned working with my children for the last 1 week. They had school activities and classes going on till April 17, I believe. So from that day onwards, their actual summer vacation will start. Okay. Where we have no access to movie theaters or traveling or even going to their friends' houses. So we thought, what is it that we can do now that they would feel that, it's a summer vacation and we are just not sitting at home getting bored.
Very good.
So we worked on what is it that they really like. So my son wanted to explore a lot of photography and video making skills. So we are planning to make him join an online workshop for photography skills that he could enhance, later on use it for animation and video making skills. So that is one thing.
Very nice. Photography is a good option to explore now.
Yeah, because there are a lot of people who are experts in their field who would not have this time to conduct such online sessions right now. But on a regular basis, when it's their daily routine going on and there's so much of work pressure, these people would not have the time to conduct classes for people like us. And right now is the best opportunity to learn from the best of the best right now in each and every field.
So we have Krishna joining us. So Krishna, if you have any questions for Sammy, please do ask her. So okay, till Krishna prepares her question, you can maybe continue with your tips, more tips that you want to give.
Right now, I'm seeing a lot of chefs in the making. Maybe we can include children in that kind of cooking where there's a fireless cooking involved right now. And the best part is your kitchen load will be reduced. and if the child is preparing the dish themselves, they would be most happy to eat that as well. So maybe you can add a lot of healthy food and ingredients. A lot of people who are chefs and all, and I have done a lot of interviews and sessions with them. So that's the best way to make sure the children eat healthy, especially during this time when they would have more access to candies and comfort food and all that, and you will not feel guilty about giving it to them, thinking, bichara to lockdown mein hai, so khane dete hain. So that's the best way to sneak in healthy food if they're helping you in the kitchen and all. And the best part would be they would have a proper routine now, because they know that if they get up on time, then they would get they will help you in the kitchen and in the household activities, and then they will get some time on screen online. And once the proper summer holidays start and with no school classes timing pressure on them where they have to wake up early, like for example my son, the moment he has a school class, I don't even have to give him an alarm clock or anything. He will be up on time in front of the screen, on time in front of his teachers, and he's on a proper schedule. And ek din chutti aata hai, he's back to his routine. So now the first thing I think we should work on is to make them have a routine which they themselves decide how to go about it, because it's going to be for some time. So let's make sure that they are designing the whole schedule for themselves. So once they do it themselves, they'll be probably more responsible to follow it, which I'm not saying is 100% possible. It is most likely, but even though I'm struggling on a regular basis with that also at home.
How difficult it is for you as a parent to continuously innovate and think about creative ideas, how to engage the child? How much challenging is it for you?
I think more than thinking about productive work things for myself, if I feel that my child has spent a lot of time only online today and not doing anything constructive, I feel, the day has not been good enough. What is the child learning out of it? And after that, I feel if not online, at least if I could spend a little bit of that time sitting with them, maybe we are reading a book or having a conversation. So when I'm talking to my 14-year-old, at least if you're talking about a similar show that both of us like, so he's at that age where we can discuss shows now on Netflix, on comedy shows, and he likes all these stand-up comics and all that right now. So having that 20-minute of discussion during dinner time at least makes me feel that I'm bonding with him. So that kind of structure, or at least that makes me feel better sleeping at night, that I could, have some kind of connection with my child and I know what he's doing and what he's up to. And with my daughter, we have a storytelling routine. So at night, first I have to make sure that either I tell her stories and I make her go to these online storytelling sites where, we read a book together with the child. So we have that routine on a daily basis at night. And that's when all the stories of the entire day will pour in from her side also, what she's done, what she plans to do.
So I would like you to talk about a little about Social Dragonfly and what do you do? What is the objective of Social Dragonfly and Women
Sure.
Folk of Hyderabad also?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. They're both actually connected. Primarily, I'm a writer. I love to write and blog and all that. I've been associated with digital platforms and I love blogging and writing online. So that is my creativity factor, I've realized after so long. Even though I keep going to a lot of things, but it's writing that I come back to. Social Dragonfly started off with me after I worked with all these digital platforms where I was heading a lot of the work over there. I realized that I can do a lot of consulting work individually. I started consulting a lot of clients to help them build their social media online. So that's how Social Dragonfly came into picture. And while I was working with the digital platforms, I had the responsibility of community engagement, where since they were parenting platforms, so a lot of parents and mothers that I would be connecting to, also service providers and activity centers heads and people who do a lot of edutainment and educational activities for children. So bringing all of this together on phone was not that much practical. It required a lot of time and effort. So I decided to form a Facebook group at that, like 4 years back. So where all of them together came into one place and they started putting up events that they're hosting and things that they're doing in their activity centers or schools, or there be some events that women would like to attend, parents would like to attend. So I would share them and slowly they would start sharing their events themselves in the group. So now it has become a community of about 7,500 plus people, members in the group on Facebook group. And we also have a similar WhatsApp group where mothers and all, we keep discussing things. So the best part about the community was you realized during this lockdown, there are a lot of people who are going through the same situation like you as a mother, who are dealing with the same problems with children that you will. You needed some support emotionally to see, if somebody else is also going through the same thing like you. So these communities helped develop that gap, with that communication gap. And so isolation did not mean that, you are away from people totally. So these groups have been helping not just me, all the women who are associated in the group. And I've always believed a lot into sharing a lot of positive articles relating to mental health and your personal growth and connected to children and their educational activities. So we started doing a lot of sharing a lot of material through these groups, and all the people who were also creating programs, workshops, or writing blogs or articles. So they also started sharing all of these in the group. So right now, my group is flooded with any class you name it, I know the information about. So from instrumental instruments that a child wants to learn, from art, craft, cooking, anything you name it, from even to education like tuitions and classes, language learning, everything is there. And for women, we have a lot of cookery classes going on. In fact, recently I read a joke saying that after the lockdown, there's going to be a huge line for the MasterChef audition, since everybody's become an amateur chef these days. So they're from cooking classes to dance classes to a lot of mental health and those classes where they'll help you with your emotional well-being right now. So a lot of these sessions are going around. And so these groups and communities help you with that information. And I also like to promote a lot of small businesses, uh, entrepreneurs who are working from home, entrepreneurs who are dealing with a lot of sustainable and eco-friendly items. So I like to promote and give them a chance to showcase their work and products in the groups as well. So that is what Social Dragonfly and Women Folk of Hyderabad have come joined together hands in the community and giving them a platform to showcase their work digitally and on social media.
So as you said, a lot of mothers are there who are there in Women Folk of Hyderabad in that group. So what kind of issues do they get in terms of managing children during this lockdown?
So similar problems, like I said, we all realize that everybody's going through the same thing. you know, a child is getting access to a lot of online stuff. So everybody has a gadget or a tab or an iPad at home that they'll be hooked on to. So I think by the end, managing their times and nudging them towards better and constructive activities like reading and art and exploring their interests. And not just the children, I realize even the mothers needed that outlet. So the groups is helping both. So I feel if a parent or a mother is happy indeed with herself and the way she's spending her time constructively, the same thing will be transferred on to the child as well. Because once you are happy, then I'm sure the child will be happy too as well, because she knows the mother is happy and in a better mental space. The child also knows कि आज मुझे गुस्सा नहीं पड़ने वाला ज़्यादा. So the whole situation becomes very nice
Yeah.
and pleasant, I feel.
Yeah, definitely, because I think it is the sanity of parents which will be more instrumental in developing this relationship.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is the primal factor for
Yeah.
any relationship.
So can you suggest any activities that parents should do in order to keep themselves sane enough now? Since you have been counseling for mental health, can you tell people also what parents should do?
I think first of all, more than emotional well-being, we need some kind of physical activity. I feel that helps a lot. There are days when I have to do yoga because that helps me not just physically, also mentally. So that mental blocks that you have, that kind of physical activity, some kind of physical activity helps doing that. And all the interviews and the discussions that I've done with experts over the last few weeks say this, they all say the same thing. So that kind of a physical activity you really do need for that emotional well-being. And of course, read good books, watch good shows, and read good articles. And if you're in my group, you will read a lot of positive comments and a lot of positive posters and jokes going around, which will be very healthy for the mind. And you'll actually feel better after that. We started a gratitude circle in the group after I felt suddenly, you know, the group started sending all this information about lockdown ho gaya hai, and then it's going to be bad. There'll be no stock available. Should we start hoarding on material? Matlab, it was becoming very, very bad. Even before the lockdown was announced, it was getting bad because of all the rumors spreading around here. So that's when I said, let's start a gratitude circle where we start thanking what we are thankful for right now. Because if the lockdown is there, I realize I live on the main road of Hyderabad, which is the road connecting the whole city. So there was absolutely no traffic. I could finally see the road in front of me without even one vehicle. And I am one person who's allergic to pollution and dust. I did not have to take my anti-allergy tablets for at least that whole 1 week, 2 weeks. So which made me very, very grateful for the lockdown. My
That's
plants were
really nice.
happy.
That's really nice. So we are approaching towards the end of the workshop. It's already going to be an hour or so. So we are approaching towards the end of the workshop. So I would like you to sum up whatever you said and give your closing comments on how to constructively engage kids with.
I think my first step again would be, I would reiterate that point, that first build a nice connection with your children right now, because this is the perfect time to build that bond with them. I have read a lot of stuff about children's health, mental health right now. They may not be very vocal about it, but they are very disturbed with the whole change in the routine, no school, no friends, no going out, and suddenly the whole world has been changed for them. And even with our 30-40 years of being adults, we have not faced such a situation ever ourselves. So for them it's totally a unique situation. So just that bond, and they should feel protected, and they should feel warm about the whole feeling, and we should not show our stress to them by the end of it, because they are pretty stressed out and they are not able to show and talk to us about it. Just that bond would help them in the long run. Just those moments that we keep saying कि अभी छुट्टी पे जाएंगे तो we'll get those very happy moments. I think we should just try having some moments here and there now. It's absolutely not possible to do it on a daily basis or 24 hours a day. At least a few hours, a few minutes. It's worth it, I feel. Because even though I try doing it all the time, it's not possible. Even for your own mental health.
Correct. So thank you, Sammy, for coming here and taking such a wonderful workshop. Before we end the workshop, I would just like to say that Lamakan is hosting another online event on 17th. On 17th of this month, it is healthcare reporting during COVID-19. Anu Bhuyan and Srinivas Kodali will be discussing the healthcare reporting, data mystery, surveillance, misinformation, and disinformation, etc. So please log into our Facebook page, Lamakan Facebook page, for all the other details. And thanks a lot, Sammy, for coming to Lamakan's online event and sharing such wonderful tips.
Complete pleasure, absolute pleasure.
Thank
And
you.
Namakan is my favorite place to go to, and I'm waiting for the day where we can actually sit together there again for another event.
Definitely we'll do. Thank you, and have a good day. Stay
Thank
happy,
you so
stay
much,
healthy,
Devi.
and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Same to you. Thank you.